I, 39 male, am sitting in my empty living room, staring at the spot where Veronica, 37, made her grand announcement 3 weeks ago. Figured I'd share this mess while it's still fresh. We've been married 12 years. No kids by choice. She said they'd tie her down. Should have seen that red flag waving, but hindsight's 2020, right? Sunday evening 3 weeks ago, I'm meal prepping for the week, grilled chicken and veggies, nothing fancy, when Veronica walks into the kitchen dragging a suitcase. Not unusual. She traveled for work sometimes. But something was off. She was wearing her good jewelry and that perfume she only used for special occasions. Going somewhere? I asked, not looking up from my Tupperware. Conrad, we need to talk. The classic line. I put down my spatula and turned around. She was standing there with this weird smile, like she was about to tell me she'd won the lottery. I'm bored, she said. This life, this routine, this predictability. It's suffocating me. I waited. 13 years together, 12 married. You learn when to shut up and let them get it all out. I met someone who makes me feel alive again. Dimitri understands me in ways you never could. He's spontaneous, passionate, exciting. Everything we're not anymore. Dimitri. Even his name sounded like a bad romance novel character. I'm going to stay with him for a while. I need to explore this, to find myself again, to find excitement. She actually used air quotes around find myself. I almost laughed. Okay, I said, turning back to my meal prep. Okay, that's it. What do you want me to say, Veronica? You've clearly made up your mind. She got huffy. You could fight for me. Show some emotion. This is exactly why I'm leaving. You're like a robot. I sealed the last container and put it in the fridge. I hope you find what you're looking for. The silence stretched. She grabbed her suitcase handle so hard her knuckles went white. I'll be at Dimitri's if you want to discuss this like adults, she said. I know where you'll be. She stormed out, slammed the door hard enough to knock my work calendar off the wall. I picked it up, noticed she'd been gone most Thursdays for the past 3 months, marked as client dinners, and made myself a cup of tea. Then I called my lawyer buddy Harrison. Hey man, need a divorce attorney reference. The good kind. Shit, Conrad. When? About 5 minutes ago. He gave me 3 names. I called the first one, Bethany Kellogg, an absolute pit bull in a pantsuit, according to Harrison. She could see me Monday morning. I spent Sunday night documenting everything. Took photos of the house, our belongings, her abandoned wedding ring on the dresser. She'd left it like some kind of statement, and backed up 3 years of text messages to the cloud. Monday morning, Bethany's first question was, did she say where she was going? To her boyfriend's house. Her eyes lit up like Christmas morning. She admitted to an affair and abandoned the marital home. Yep. Did she take anything? Clothes, jewelry, her laptop. Left everything else. Good. Here's what we're going to do. By Wednesday, the paperwork was filed. Divorce citing abandonment and adultery. In our state, abandonment kicks in after 30 days, but you can file immediately if they've declared intent to leave permanently. Her little speech qualified. Here's the kicker. Because she abandoned the home, I could file for exclusive use. Because she admitted to adultery, it would impact any alimony claims. Bethany was thorough, but the restraining order, that was purely practical. See, Dmitry Volkov, yeah, I looked him up, had a record. 2 arrests for drunk and disorderly, 1 for assault, charges dropped, and multiple complaints from neighbors at his condo complex for noise and aggressive behavior. We're not saying he's a threat to you, Bethany explained. We're establishing boundaries. He's not to come to your home, your workplace, or contact you directly. Standard stuff in contested divorces. The paperwork was sent to his address, where Veronica was staying. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. She'd know I was serious, and it'd be on record that she was residing with him. That was a week ago. The call started Thursday. Update 1. Thursday morning, 7 a.m. I'm having coffee and checking emails when my phone explodes. 12 missed calls from Veronica, 8 from a number I didn't recognize, Dimitri, I assumed, and roughly 30 texts. Some highlights. What the hell is this? A restraining order? Are you insane? You can't divorce me for finding happiness. This is illegal. I didn't abandon anything. I'm coming home right now. Conrad, please answer your phone. This is Dimitri. We need to talk man to man. You're being ridiculous. I'm calling the police for harassment. I screenshot everything and forwarded to Bethany, then blocked both numbers. 20 minutes later, the doorbell camera notification goes off. Veronica is there with Prince Charming himself. Dimitri looked exactly like his mugshot, mid-40s, trying too hard with a leather jacket and gold chain combo, looking like a discount mob boss. They're pounding on the door. I don't answer. After 5 minutes, Dimitri starts kicking it. That's when I called the police. There's a man attempting to break down my door. I have a restraining order against him. The cops arrived in under 10 minutes. Beautiful thing about restraining orders. Violating them is immediate arrest territory. Dimitri tried to argue that he didn't know about it, that it wasn't valid, that I was keeping his woman from her home. The female officer looked at him like he was something stuck to her shoe. Sir, will you serve papers at your residence? Yeah, but dash. Then you knew. Turn around. Veronica went ballistic, screaming about how I was ruining her life. How could I do this to her happiness? Didn't I care about her at all? Ma'am, the male officer said, our records show you don't live at this address anymore. You filed a change of address with the post office last week. Oh yeah, she'd forwarded her mail to Dimitri's. Another nail in the abandonment coffin. She actually tried to push past the officers to get to me. They restrained her, and I heard the magic words, ma'am, you're under arrest for attempted assault and disorderly conduct. 2 for 1 special. I watched from my window as they were both loaded into separate cars. Then I made myself breakfast and logged into work. By noon, Veronica's sister Simone was calling from her number. I actually liked Simone, so I answered. Conrad, what the hell? Veronica called me from jail. Morning, Simone. She says you had her arrested for trying to come home. She announced she was leaving me for another man, moved out, changed her mailing address, and showed up with said man who tried to kick in my door. After being served a restraining order. Silence. She said she was staying with you, Simone said quietly. Nope. She's been with Dmitri Volkov for 3 weeks. Who the hell is Dmitri? Wait, that sketchy guy from her gym. The one who got banned for harassing female members. That's the one. More silence. Conrad, I'm sorry. I had no idea. Not your fault, Simone. Can you not press charges? For me. Already done. It's out of my hands now. She sighed. I get it. Just, damn it, V. Friday brought new levels of entitlement. Veronica made bail and immediately went on the offensive. Since she couldn't contact me directly, she got creative. 1. Called my workplace claiming to be having a medical emergency and needed me to call her immediately. My boss Lawrence wasn't fooled. I'd given him a heads up about the situation. 2. Showed up at my mother's house crying about how I'd lost my mind and turned violent. Mom called me laughing. She seems to forget I have a Ring doorbell too. Got her whole performance on video. She's not a very good actress. 3. Tried to access our joint Netflix account. Joke's on her. I'd already changed the password and sent a nasty email to support claiming I was financially abusing her by cutting off her access to essential services. But Saturday was when she really showed her cards. I was at the grocery store when my credit card got declined. Weird since I just paid it off. Called the bank. Sir, there was a large cash advance taken this morning. $8,000. I didn't make any cash advance. It shows it was done in person at our downtown branch. A woman claiming to be your wife. See, we had separate bank accounts, thank God. But she was still an authorized user on 2 of my credit card from back when she was between jobs years ago. I'd forgotten to remove her. Canceled both cards immediately. Reported as fraud. Sir, if it was your wife dash. We're in the middle of a divorce. She has her own accounts and income. This was not authorized. They froze the cards and said they'd investigate. I drove straight to Bethany's office. This is perfect, she said. She's digging her own grave. How is theft perfect? Because she just proved financial desperation. Makes abandonment claims stronger. Plus, judges hate this shit. Sunday night, the real circus began. Veronica sent her flying monkeys, mutual friends who suddenly had strong opinions about our marriage. Raj called first. Bro, Veronica says you locked her out and had her arrested? That's cold. She left me for another dude, Raj. Yeah, but people make mistakes. You could have talked it out. She moved in with him. Oh, She said she was at her sister's, thinking things through. Kelly texted, I can't believe you'd throw away 12 years over a rough patch. Veronica's devastated. I replied, she threw it away when she moved in with her boyfriend. Boyfriend? She said she was taking space to work on herself. One by one, the flying monkeys realized they'd been played. The story Veronica was spinning, that she'd asked for a temporary separation to work on herself, and I'd gone nuclear, fell apart when confronted with reality. But Veronica wasn't done. Not by a long shot. Update 2. Week 2 started with Veronica discovering the credit cards were frozen. The texts to my work email were unhinged. Personal email was blocked. You cancel my cards? I need money for food. This is financial abuse. Dimitri's accounts are frozen because of the arrest you caused. I'm going to be homeless. You OWE me support. I'm your wife. I forwarded everything to Bethany and didn't respond. But I did check court records. Turns out Dimitri's accounts weren't frozen because of the arrest. They were frozen because he owed $45,000 in back child support to 2 different women. Veronica had traded in a boring but stable marriage for a deadbeat with a record. The grass wasn't greener, it was spray painted. Tuesday, she tried a new tactic. I got a call from our couples therapist, Dr. Rodriguez, whom we'd seen briefly 2 years ago. Conrad, Veronica called asking to resume couples counseling. She says you're having a mental health crisis? Doc, she left me for another man and moved in with him. I filed for divorce. That's not what she described. What did she say? That you became paranoid and controlling, threw her out, and are having delusions about an affair. I have texts where she admits to the affair, and she filed a change of address to her boyfriend's place. I see. Well, I won't be resuming counseling. Good luck, Conrad. Wednesday was court day for the criminal charges. I had to testify about the door-kicking incident. Dimitri showed up in a suit that looked like it came from a costume shop, and Veronica was dressed like she was going to a nightclub. Dimitri got 30 days for violating the restraining order plus probation. Veronica got community service and anger management classes for the attempted assault. The best part? When a judge asked for their current address for the record, they gave different ones. Turns out Dimitri had kicked her out after the arrest because his landlord threatened eviction. She'd been couch surfing for days. After court, Veronica followed me to the parking garage, technically legal since it was a public space. Happy now, she spat. You've ruined everything. You ruined everything when you decided our marriage was boring. It was boring. You're boring. All you care about is meal prep and spreadsheets and your stupid workout schedule. Dimitri made me feel desired. And now, where is Dimitri? Her face crumpled. He said I brought too much drama. Me? When you're the one who involved the police. Veronica, you brought him to violate a restraining order. I didn't know he had a record, or the child support, or that his ex would show up screaming. Maybe you should have dated him longer than 3 months before blowing up your life. She actually stomped her foot. 3 months was enough to know he was exciting. Unlike you. How's that excitement working out? That's when she snapped. Full meltdown in the parking garage. Screaming about how I destroyed her chance at happiness. How she deserved passion and adventure. How I trapped her in suburban hell. Security showed up. I left while she was still ranting. Thursday brought the financial investigation results. The $8,000 she'd withdrawn, spent in 4 days. $3,000 to Dimitri's lawyer. $2,500 on a designer bag, retail therapy, according to her credit card memo. $1,500 at a spa. $1,000 cash withdrawals. The credit card company flagged it all as fraud since she was no longer a resident of my household and had her own income. They were pressing charges. Bethany was ecstatic. She's writing our case for us. Abandonment, adultery, financial misconduct. Judges eat this up. Friday, Veronica's desperation reached new heights. She created a crowdfunding page. Help a woman escape her abusive marriage. The description was a work of fiction. According to her, I was a controlling narcissist who monitored her every move, isolated her from friends, and was now using the legal system to destroy her. She needed money for a lawyer and a safe place to stay. It raised $50 from her aunt, before someone, not me, reported it for fraud and it got taken down. But Saturday was special. I woke up to find my lawn covered in garbage. Literally. Someone had dumped what looked like a week's worth of trash bags all over my front yard. The doorbell camera caught it, Veronica, at 3 a.m., hauling bag from her car. But she made a crucial mistake. Some of the garbage had mail in it. Mail addressed to Dmitry Volkov at an address I didn't recognize. Turned out to be his ex-girlfriend's place, where Veronica was now crashing. I called the police for illegal dumping. They were very interested in the mail fraud aspect, using someone else's address without permission. They were even more interested when I mentioned she was out on bail for assault. Veronica was arrested. Again, this time, bail was revoked. Final update. Veronica spent a week in jail before her parents bailed her out. By then, the divorce was moving at light speed. Abandonment was established, adultery was documented, and financial misconduct was proven. Her parents, Garrett and Eleanor, called me. First time we'd spoken in 2 years, Veronica had told them I didn't like them, another lie. Conrad, Eleanor said, "We just found out what's been happening. The real story. We're mortified." "She told us you were emotionally abusive," Garrett added, "that she was scared to leave. We believed her because, well, she's our daughter." "I understand." "No, you don't," Eleanor said firmly. She cleaned out her college fund account, the one we still contributed to for her future education. $20,000 gone, spent on that man and designer goods. They wanted to testify on my behalf, if needed. Their own daughter. That's how far Veronica had fallen. The final divorce hearing was last Monday. Veronica showed up looking haggard, with a public defender, couldn't afford Dimitri's lawyer anymore. She tried one last play. "Your Honor, I was emotionally vulnerable. My husband's neglect drove me to seek comfort elsewhere. I made mistakes, but I shouldn't lose everything because I fell in love." The judge, a woman in her 60s with zero patience for BS, looked at the evidence, admitted adultery, abandonment of marital home, financial fraud, multiple arrests, harassment despite restraining order. "Ma'am," the judge said, "you didn't fall in love. You made a series of calculated decisions to destroy your marriage for excitement. You've committed fraud, harassment, and showed complete disregard for the law. Your husband's response was measured and appropriate. The ruling: divorce granted on grounds of abandonment and adultery. No alimony. She had equal earning potential and committed financial fraud. I kept the house. She abandoned it. She kept her personal belongings and car. She owed me $8,000 for the credit card fraud. Restraining order made permanent." Veronica actually laughed. "You think you won? You get to keep your boring life in your boring house with your boring routines. I feel sorry for you." "Ms. Peterson," the judge said, she'd already gone back to her maiden name, "you're facing criminal charges for fraud and violating bail conditions. I'd worry less about his life and more about yours. As of today, I'm divorced. The house is peaceful. I still meal prep on Sundays. My credit is recovered. I upgraded my home security system. I started dating a woman from my hiking club who thinks stability is sexy. Veronica, living with her parents. Lost her job. Too many absences from jail/court. Dimitri disappeared after getting out of jail. Facing fraud charges from the credit card company. Doing court-ordered community service. Posts cryptic quotes about Phoenix rising from ashes on social media. Her sister Simone still checks on me occasionally. Last week, she said Veronica was already on dating apps looking for the next excitement. Some people never learn. The restraining order? Still active. Still delivered to wherever she's staying. A permanent reminder that seeking excitement has consequences. She wanted to escape our boring life. She succeeded. Now she gets to live with the excitement of court dates, community service, and a criminal record. As for me, I'm enjoying my boring Sunday meal prep, my predictable gym schedule, and my drama-free existence. Turns out boring is exactly what I wanted. Funny how that works out. Edit. Since I'm asked, yes, the garbage incident added another charge. Illegal dumping and mail fraud. She pled guilty to get probation instead of more jail time. The Phoenix she's rising as has a lot of community service hours ahead.